Hey basketball players, coaches, fans, and whoever is interested in really turning basketball into a career. There's multiple different careers that you could take in basketball. There's a player, which is really hard, takes a lot of dedication. There's also being a coach, which could take a lot of dedication and a lot of learning, depending on if you want to go pro or not. There are a lot of, at least in the United States, a lot of high school jobs that can pay a little bit. It's not usually great pay, but it's enough to just enough to cover your time, at least when you're coaching that team. But then there's social media, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. So social media is a massive business, and today I'm going to be really breaking it down, and I'll be breaking down my business as well. So number one, something that I've been running since I was in high school, which is one-on-one or one for and plus a group of kids or whoever, basketball training. One-on-one is kind of my biggest thing, and that is for local players here in Ontario, really technically Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, this small little area, and I do pretty well. Now, there are a few trainers here, but since COVID started, they have been kind of dropping away and trying to find other jobs because, at least for a while, there was zero clients available because everything was shut down. We were not even technically allowed to see our own family, which was really bad. But some of us still visited our family and still seen our family. We didn't really care, and none of us got sick. But I'm not getting into the whole COVID thing. But today, I'm going to be breaking down the business. So let's get down to the whiteboard. Let's check out basically my business and what your business could be as well. Okay, so here on my whiteboard, I have one-on-one training and YouTube. These are my two biggest revenue generators. Obviously, if you want to live in this world, you need money, so you need to talk about revenue. Now, one-on-one training was huge for me. Now it is a little bit less this year, but generally speaking, this is about 25% of my earnings, generally speaking. And then I have YouTube, which is got a whole bunch of different revenue streams. So number one is Basketball Coach Allen, which is the channel you're currently watching. We'll call this BCA, Basketball Coach Allen. And off of Basketball Coach Allen, I have ad revenue, which is those pre-roll ads that you get to watch. I'm sorry, by the way. And then after ads, which is easily, I would say about 60-ish, call it 50%. That is 50% total out of everything that I do is YouTube ads. Now, this 50% number is not just equaling up BCA, that's my other channels as well, putting into that mix. And then I have merchandise sales, which is those things that you see on the bottom shelf underneath this video. And then after merch, I have books. Now, these books currently consist of 2 basketball defense books. So we'll say 2X defense. And then I also have a vertical jump training book. So we'll call that jump. Now, out of the book sales, that creates easily another roughly, I would say, about 20% of my total revenue. So after YouTube Basketball Coach Allen, I also have Football Coach Allen. I put the CA for Coach Allen. Then I also have Coach Allen Gaming, which is now newly monetized as well. So basically, out of my whole business, I have one-on-one training, which is one revenue stream. And then I've got YouTube, which then goes down to 3 other revenue streams, so that in case one of these revenue streams drops off, I still have something that can still support what I am doing. Now, if you're trying to be a social media influencer when it comes to basketball, there's many different routes that you can take. You don't have to take the route that I took, which is the training, teaching of players and coaches. You could do what so many others have done, which is go and try to find other players to play against and make videos of you playing 3-on-3 games, 1-on-1 games. But for that, you have to be super healthy, which I am not because obviously my weight, but I've had 2 knee surgeries, 1 major, and I just cannot keep up with players anymore. However, at the same time, you may be able to. So, by me breaking down my revenue streams as myself giving you some information, I hope that you can use that to your advantage. So if you're a young player, you could actually become a social media influencer. You need to try and do something different than everybody else. Don't go out there and say, hey, I'm gonna be that guy who's just playing 1-on-1 all day. No, you have to do something different. There's so many different ways, you just have to be different. So for yourself, there's a lot of YouTubers right now who are doing daily vlogs, a lot of which are not being successful because that's an oversaturated market. And then there's a market where there's people playing 1-on-1 and group 3-on-3, 5-on-5 games, and they're doing well. I don't think it's oversaturated just yet, but there are probably a good 50 to 100 channels that are doing it right now that are getting some traction. So it's getting to the point of oversaturation, but that's just my own opinion. And then what there isn't just yet, that I haven't seen yet, is the small young player who's in his 12, 13, 14, 15 years old or whatever, documenting his training every single day to be able to get to the NBA. So think about it. If you were really interested in becoming an NBA player, would you go back and look at what the documentation or the history of somebody like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, any of those players who grew up and obviously they had a lot of obstacles in front of them? Michael Jordan never made his grade 9 basketball team. LeBron James was technically homeless at one point. If you could document what you do every single day, or maybe every other day, or a couple times a week, up until the point of being somewhere and you became an NBA player, I can guarantee you right now a lot of younger players are going to be looking at those old tapes to see what you did so that they can emulate what you did to become an NBA player. I haven't seen anybody yet who has been able to do that. There was Stauskas from Oakville who sort of did that. He had some backyard videos and he made it to the NBA, but there wasn't a documented line. If you go watch somebody like Gary Vee, he documented his whole journey to build his company. You could do the same thing about yourself being an NBA player. Anyways, these are my thoughts. I thought I would break this down for you for anybody who's really interested in the social media aspect of it's just basketball influencers. I wouldn't say that I'm an influencer. I like to say that I'm a trainer instead. But as you can see here, most of my revenue does come from social media, and this is kind of a blueprint, I guess you could say, on what you could do. So I am releasing more books coming very soon. I am releasing a complete 5-out offense book, complete with plays, drills, and knowledge on just how to play different positions. So anyways, I hope that this video has helped you as a coach, player, or just anybody looking into being a social media influencer. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.